Why hello there! Today I want to talk about some small changes in Fortnite that I would love to see. I'm not talking about changes such as the entire locker UI or changing how the gameplay works. I'm talking about things such as this. I mean, look at this. Why is this the first tab on the game selection screen full of popular games and recent games that I've played? Why not have one or the other? Personally, I would prefer if the first tab in this selection was full of your favorited maps, and then also have those organized by most played. But if I play Reload more than OG, then Reload would be first. These are the small changes I'm going to be talking about in this video. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Starting off, let me show you my saved loadouts. Notice anything? That's right, all of my loadouts are organized. Since we are currently in a Star Wars season, I'll use Star Wars as my example for this one. This right here is my prequel era Star Wars skins. Let's say, hypothetically, Count Dooku was added to Fortnite. Well, I would obviously want him to have his own preset, but wait a minute, I already have Darth Maul, General Grievous, and Darth Jar Jar as my presets, and I don't have any more room. Okay, that's an easy change. I'll change out Darth Jar Jar for Count Dooku, but Grievous only appears in Episode 3, so I want him to be in the third spot, where Darth Jar Jar currently is. Rather than being able to move Grievous and Darth Jar Jar around, I'd have to select Grievous's loadout, save it to Jar Jar's, then create Dooku's loadout, save it to Grievous's current spot. Now, this isn't as bad because the characters I chose were right next to each other anyway. But what if an old collaboration is coming back, such as Street Fighter? Well, I would have to find a row of skins that I don't want to use anymore, remove them, replace them with the row of skins that is on top of that row, repeat the process until I get to where I want those skins to be. This is a problem that only really affects me, probably, but it's still something small that I would love to see get added. A better way to move saved loadouts around rather than deleting, saving, you get the idea. Perhaps in the options button down at the bottom right of the screen, we could have an edit loadouts button, where we then select a loadout and move it to where we want it to be. Of course, this would only really help out probably a very small amount of people. What about something that would help out a bigger group of people? Take a look at this, and now this. This is what the career tab is, and this is what it was a few years ago. I would love it if Fortnite added this feature back in some way. More specifically, a way to see all the achievements your account made. Such as the first time you got a win, the first time you played each season, the last time you got a squad win with everyone carrying a crown, and so on and so forth. A way to look back at what you did in your account is a much better nostalgia trip than OG could ever be. And speaking of achievements, how cool would it be if Fortnite added an achievements tab where they give you some really weird and crazy tasks to do? It could be as simple as be the first person to land at a specific POI, or as crazy as be the last person in a match to open a chest. Minecraft does have some of the best achievements out there, and if Fortnite adopted this system, I think it would really be fun. There could even be certain rewards for hitting a certain amount of achievements. Maybe if you hit 10 achievements, you get a free emote, 25 achievements, you get a free backbling, 50 achievements, it's a free glider, and then maybe if you get to 100 achievements, you get a free skin. I personally would love to see this get added to the game, because if somebody were to get all of their quests done in a season, have max level for their battle pass, and then the season is just ending in a week, why would they want to play this game at this time? Adding achievements would help those people out a ton. Another minuscule thing that I would want added is the chapter lobby music. I mean, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all have their own music, but chapter 6 doesn't. I would love if this came back. One last thing before I talk about the YouTube post that I did, which if you didn't know, I have a community post on my channel where I'll include what you said at the end of each video. But I want to talk about this. What's the difference between these two skins right here? Or what about these two? How about these? Now look at this. Why are these three skins considered to be an entirely new skin, but these two are not? You might be thinking that I'm going to be talking about how Epic Games is ripping us off, but no. I want to tell you all that I think it would be a grand idea if you could combine these skins into one. It's going to be very complicated to say what I'm thinking about, so I made this image to help explain it. Imagine that if you have the original skin in your locker, such as Wildcard, and a reskin of the same character, such as Double Agent Wildcard, you can combine the two skins into one skin and just have the extra skin as a selectable style. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, it really isn't a small change now, is it? Well, whatever, I'm going with it now. This feature would just help clean the clutter that's in your locker. But do I think it will be added to Fortnite? No, absolutely not. But I do think it is a possible thing for Epic Games to do. Just very, very, very unlikely. All of these I have mentioned are not all of the changes that I would like to see in Fortnite. These were just some that I wanted to mention in this video. But anyway, I'm now going to switch over to responding to what you guys said on my community post. So let's get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this. At I Love Popcorn says, instead of getting a whole new skin, how about we add styles? I completely agree with this. I think the addition of a new skin should be a completely new design, not a simple recolor. A recolor should specifically be saved for different styles for a particular skin, not a brand new skin. At Cleans.5 says, I'd like to see a penalty for leaving a match early. Rocket League has it. So if you're an idiot and wander off on your own and go down, you shouldn't get to talk crap and then leave. It should be small timed ban from joining or something similar to Rocket League. I think this would be a good idea if it was only in like ranked or something like that. I could see this getting added to the casual modes as well, but that's very unlikely. Overall, I don't think it's a needed change, but it is a change that could happen. At Fitz-FN says, as a comp player, give the crazy items to pubs and ranked for the casuals, and the guns should have separate stats in comp. I like the idea. I think having casual and competitive separated into two different loot pools would be so much better for the community. I mean, just look at my previous video. The community is in shambles, and having two different loot pools for both different sides of the community, that would help out so much. Epic Games just likes to force everything to be the same. At MeatYap410 says, durability. Nothing needs to be said here. I agree. Change durability. Get rid of durability on weapons, and everyone would be so much better. Okay, it might not help everybody, but with the baseball bat in particular, a lot of people said that durability helped out that weapon a ton. It balanced it out. And I have to say, there is always another option. No matter what you are doing, there is always another option that you can find. For the baseball bat, rather than having 0 cooldown for the swing attack, maybe give it like a 60-second swing cooldown or something like that. Or even 30 seconds. Adding a cooldown for a weapon is much better than adding really any kind of durability. At MeatYap410 also says, fans voting for skins to be added. It would be good to get skins we actually want. We already do kind of have that with the survey skins, but those we don't get to pick and choose which ones we want. Although we do get to see what most of Epic Games' designs for skins are, I would love to be able to pick and choose which survey skins I want to see in the game come first. At LTE06L says, give more appreciation to their older modes. They really only care about Battle Royale, Reload, and Creative. Like, I really want them to do more stuff with Save the World and OG mode. Well, OG mode definitely does get a lot of new recognition. I mean, it does have its own battle pass. But with Save the World, giving more appreciation to Save the World, I think would be a cool thing. Maybe we could get a full revamped version of Save the World, because not a lot of people currently play it, but we could get a lot more people to play it. At JR_sports14 says, I think we need to stop the trend of having an overpowered melee weapon every single season. Look, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying this, but I love melee weapons in Fortnite. I always fight people that have an SMG or some kind of multi-hit weapon. So the melee weapons, there is a counter for a lot of the melee weapons. They're just really fun for me to use. But I do agree, maybe once in a while, tone down on the melee weapons. At Pancake Timba says, more freedom of skins. They sold a lot of Mandos, so why not make more customizable skins? I like this idea. Giving us more skins with more customizability that are good would sell a lot. The Mandalorian is a very good example of a good customizable skin. The reason why I say that is because the Mandalorian has not a lot of options. There's very few options with every single, like the helmet, the armor style, there's only 4 different options. The colors, there's not a lot. So it's almost like with the customizable skins, giving us less is actually giving us more. And I think that's an excellent idea. At Carved and Butchered says, something really small I'd like to see is more customization for festival instruments, like being able to put sprays and stickers on them. That would be pretty cool. It would definitely be really small because in-game, you're not really going to see a lot of those stickers and sprays, but that would give us a lot of extra options for sprays and emoticons. I really do like this idea because sprays and emoticons and emojis and whatever those things are, they don't get a lot of use. So giving those specific cosmetics something more would be a lot better for a lot of people because I'm sure you and I both have a ton of different sprays in our lockers we've never used. We probably don't even know what sprays we've got. At Jaden Draws a YT says, more story-focused loading screens, fan concept skins, more Hatsune Miku tracks, letting us go inside everything that we should, the Millennium Falcon as an example. I like the idea of having more story-focused loading screens. It's just there's not a lot of story to choose from. Especially currently in the Star Wars season, there's not really any implications of the lore. We're kind of just in a Star Wars season. There's no lore reason for this. But I would love to see more of the story. Fan concept skins would also be a great idea. Having a monthly or a yearly or some kind of community event where a bunch of the community members design their own skin and Fortnite gets to choose those skins. I remember Epic Games did that in Chapter 3 Season 1 with these 2 skins here. So giving us more things like that would be awesome. And finally, at Orange Lime Music Maker says, fan-made festival songs. That would be awesome. The big issue with that one is so many people would make so many copyrighted music. For example, imagine if Take On Me was not added in Fortnite just yet, but we were able to make our own songs. Well, what if somebody made Take On Me, or basically just uploaded the files into Fortnite? Well, suddenly, they don't actually collaborate with the creators of the song, they're just collaborating with somebody who is taking that format. Well, anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and for those of you that I chose to be in the video, thank you very much for commenting on that YouTube post. My next YouTube post should be out by the time you are watching this video. If it's not, be on the lookout, so you might be able to appear in my next video. Don't forget to use code DeltaTheWildCard in the Fortnite item shop to get 0% off your next bundle, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless and goodbye for now.